I'm lying in bed scrolling through Instagram, and I see someone from school posting about their promotion, someone who used to copy my homework, someone who everyone said wasn't as smart as me, and they're doing well, really well, better than me probably, and this thought hits me, the one I've been avoiding for years. What happened to me? I was supposed to be the smart one. Everyone said so, but here I am, average job, average life, nothing special, just existing. And I can't tell anyone how much this hurts, because I'm supposed to be the smart one. I'm supposed to have it figured out. But I don't, and the gap between who people think I am and who I actually am is crushing me. I think we need to talk about this, about what it's like to be the smart kid who didn't turn into the successful adult everyone expected, about carrying the weight of potential that you never lived up to, about the specific kind of failure that comes from being told you're gifted and then not being anything special at all. Because nobody talks about this. Nobody talks about what happens to the smart kids when they grow up and realize intelligence doesn't guarantee success. That being smart in school doesn't mean you'll be smart at life. That potential means nothing if you don't do anything with it. Here's what I remember. I was always the smart one. Teachers loved me, parents bragged about me. Other kids came to me for help. I didn't have to try. Things just clicked. Tests were easy, homework was easy, school was easy, and everyone told me the same thing. You're going to do great things. You're so smart. You have so much potential. The world is yours. And I believed them. Of course I did. Why wouldn't I? Everything came easy to me. I was special. I was different. I was going somewhere. But then, I didn't. I don't know when it happened exactly. When I stopped being the smart kid with potential and started being the adult who didn't live up to it. But somewhere along the way, easy stopped being easy. And I didn't know how to handle that. Because here's the thing about being the smart kid. You never learn how to struggle. You never learn how to fail and keep going. You never learn how to work hard at something that doesn't come naturally. You just coast on talent, on intelligence, on the belief that being smart is enough, until one day it's not, and you have no idea what to do. I remember the first time I failed at something, really failed. Not got a B instead of an A failed. Actually failed. I was in college, first real challenging class. And I studied. I actually had to study, not just skim the night before, actually put in work. And I still failed the exam. And I didn't know what to do with that, because I'd never failed before. I'd never had to try hard and still come up short. I thought being smart meant I wouldn't have to. So I gave up on that class, on that major, on anything that felt too hard, because if I had to work hard and might still fail, what was the point? I was supposed to be smart. Smart people don't struggle. Smart people just know things, but that's not how life works. And nobody told me that. Here's what nobody tells the smart kids. Intelligence is just a starting point. It's not a guarantee. It's not a finish line. It's just one tool among many. And if you don't learn discipline, if you don't learn perseverance, if you don't learn how to fail and keep going, intelligence means nothing. But when you're the smart kid, nobody teaches you that. They just tell you you're special. They just tell you you'll figure it out because you're smart. And then you grow up and realize everyone else learned how to work hard, how to push through difficulty, how to fail and try again. And you didn't, because you never had to, because everything came easy. Until it didn't. I think about this a lot, about all the other smart kids, the ones who were in gifted programs, the ones who won awards, the ones who everyone said would be successful, and I wonder how many of them are where I am. Average jobs, average lives, nothing special, just existing, carrying the weight of all that potential that went nowhere. Because I see them sometimes on social media, in LinkedIn posts, and some of them did make it, some of them became doctors or engineers or whatever everyone expected, but a lot of them didn't. A lot of them are just normal, working normal jobs, living normal lives, not doing anything remarkable. And I wonder if they feel it too. That specific shame of being the smart one who didn't become anything special. Here's what makes it worse. You can't really complain about this. You can't tell people, I'm struggling because I was told I was smart, and it turns out I'm just average. Because people will say, at least you were smart, at least you had a potential, at least teachers believed in you. They don't understand that having potential and wasting it feels worse than never having it at all. That being told you're special and then being ordinary is its own kind of failure. So you don't talk about it, you just carry it. This quiet disappointment in yourself, this feeling that you let everyone down, that you let yourself down. I read a comment on one of my videos once. Someone said, I was the gifted kid. Now I'm the burnt out adult who can't handle basic tasks without having a breakdown. What happened? And I just, yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. Because being the gifted kid wasn't just about being smart. It was about being effortlessly smart, about things coming easy, about never having to struggle. And when you build your entire identity around being the person things come easy to, what happens when things get hard? You break, you give up. You avoid anything difficult because difficulty means you're not special anymore. You're just like everyone else. Here's a specific example. You want to start something new, a business, a project, a skill, anything. But the moment it gets difficult, the moment you're not immediately good at it, you quit. Because if you're not naturally good at something, why bother? You're supposed to be smart. Smart people don't struggle. Smart people are just naturally talented. So you quit and you find something easier, something you're naturally good at, something that doesn't challenge you. And years go by and you never build anything. You never master anything. You just coast on the things that come naturally and avoid anything that doesn't. Because you're scared that if you try hard at something and fail, it'll prove you're not actually smart. It'll prove the gifted kid label was wrong. It'll prove you're ordinary. So you never try, and you never find out what you could have been if you'd just been willing to struggle. I did this for years. I avoided anything that felt too hard. Anything that might expose me as not being as smart as everyone thought. I stayed in jobs that didn't challenge me. I avoided learning new skills. I stuck to what I knew because what I knew was safe. I could be good at it without effort. I could maintain the image of being smart, but I was miserable. Because safe is boring. Safe doesn't grow. Safe doesn't build anything meaningful. But at least safe meant I never had to risk failing. Never had to risk people finding out I'm not actually that special. Here's another thing. You compare yourself to people constantly, not just successful people. Everyone. Because you're supposed to be the smart one. You're supposed to be ahead. So when someone who wasn't as smart as you does better than you, it destroys you. It's not just jealousy. It's not just envy. It's this deep sense of I failed. I was supposed to be the one succeeding. I was supposed to be the special one, and I'm not. And that comparison never stops. You see someone's promotion, someone's achievement, someone's success, and instead of being happy for them, you spiral. Because they weren't supposed to be more successful than you. You were the smart one. You were supposed to be the one people compared themselves to. But now you're the one comparing and losing. Every time. I think the hardest part is the imposter syndrome, not the normal kind, the kind where you're terrified people will find out you're not actually smart, because your entire identity is built on being intelligent. That's who you are. That's what made you special. That's what people expected from you. So you can't let them see you struggle. You can't let them see you fail. You can't let them see you not know something. Because if you're not smart, what are you? So you pretend, you nod along when you don't understand, you avoid situations where you might look stupid, You stick to topics you know so you can maintain the image. But inside, you're terrified. Terrified that one day someone will ask you something you don't know and the whole illusion will collapse. That everyone will realize you're not actually that smart. You were just good at school, and school wasn't real life. Here's what I wish someone had told me when I was the smart kid. Being smart doesn't make you special. Working hard makes you special. Persisting when things are difficult makes you special. Being willing to fail and try again makes you special. Intelligence is just a tool, and if you don't pair it with discipline, with perseverance, with humility, it's worthless. But nobody tells the smart kids that. They just tell them they're gifted. They just tell them they'll figure it out because they're smart. And then the smart kids grow up and they realize, I don't know how to work hard. I don't know how to fail. I don't know how to be bad at something and keep trying. I only know how to be naturally good. And that's not enough. I started noticing this pattern. Every time something got difficult, I'd find a reason to quit. Not because I couldn't do it, but because doing it would require me to struggle, to be bad at something for a while, to look stupid while learning, and I couldn't handle that, because I am supposed to be smart. Smart people don't struggle. Smart people just know things, so I'd quit, and I'd find something easier, something I could be naturally good at without effort. And I wasted years like this, years of avoiding anything challenging, years of playing small because playing big might expose me as not being as smart as everyone thought. Here's a specific moment that changed something for me. I was talking to a friend, someone who wasn't the smart kid, someone who had to work hard for everything, and they were doing better than me, significantly better. Better job, better life, more fulfilled, and I couldn't help myself. I asked, how? How did you do it? And they said something I'll never forget. I learned how to fail in second grade. You're still learning. And it hit me. They were right. They'd failed and struggled their entire life. So failure didn't scare them. Struggle didn't stop them. They just kept going. But me? I'd been avoiding failure my entire life because failure meant I wasn't smart. And being smart was my entire identity. So I never learned how to handle it. I never built resilience. I never developed the ability to keep going when things got hard. I just quit over and over. Because quitting meant I could keep pretending I was still smart, still special, still the gifted kid with potential. And I think that's what happens to a lot of smart kids. They never learn how to fail, so they never learn how to succeed at difficult things. They coast on natural talent, they stick to what comes easy, they avoid challenges, and they wake up one day and realize, I've wasted my potential. I've wasted years. I'm not the smart kid anymore. I'm just average. And average feels like failure when you were told you were gifted. So what do you do about this? How do you let go of being the smart kid? How do you stop carrying the weight of potential you didn't live up to? I don't have perfect answers. I'm still figuring this out myself. But here's what I've been trying. First, I had to accept I'm not special. Being smart in school didn't make me special. It made me good at one specific thing. School. And school isn't life. In real life, discipline beats intelligence. Persistence beats talent. Being willing to fail and keep going beats being naturally good at things. And I wasn't taught that, so I have to learn it now. At an age where failure feels humiliating instead of educational. But I have to learn it, because the alternative is staying stuck in this identity of the gifted kid who didn't do anything with it. Second, I had to start doing things I'm bad at, deliberately, on purpose, things that challenge me. Things that make me feel stupid, things where I have to struggle, not to become good at them necessarily, but to prove to myself that struggling doesn't mean I'm not smart. It means I'm learning, and learning requires being bad at something first. This is hard. Every time I struggle with something, that voice comes back. You're supposed to be smart. Smart people don't struggle like this. You're a fraud. But I'm learning to ignore that voice, or at least not let it stop me. Third, I had to stop comparing myself to other people, especially people who weren't as smart as me who are doing better, because that comparison is based on a flawed premise that intelligence determines success. It doesn't. Work ethic does. Resilience does. Discipline does. They're not doing better because they're smarter or because I'm dumber. They're doing better because they learned how to work hard, and I didn't. That's not a moral failing. That's just what happened, and I can learn it now. Late, but not too late. Fourth, I had to let go of the identity. The smart kid, the gifted one, the one with potential. That's not who I am anymore. Maybe it never was. Maybe I was just good at one thing, and everyone extrapolated from that. But holding on to that identity is killing me, because I keep measuring myself against this standard of who I was supposed to be, and I'll never measure up to it. So I have to let it go. I have to be okay with being average, with being ordinary, with not being special. And maybe once I let go of needing to be special, I can actually start building something real. Being the smart kid was a curse disguised as a blessing. It made things easy, too easy, so easy that I never learned how to handle difficulty. It built an identity I can't live up to, an expectation I can't meet, a version of myself that doesn't exist. And now I'm trying to unlearn it, to build a new identity, one based on effort instead of talent, on persistence instead of intelligence, on being willing to fail instead of being naturally good. And maybe you're doing this too. Maybe you were the smart kid who didn't turn into the successful adult. Maybe you're carrying the weight of potential you never lived up to. Maybe you're tired of being the one who was supposed to succeed, but didn't. And I don't have a solution. I don't have a way to make that feeling go away. But maybe it helps to know you're not the only one. There are a lot of us, smart kids who coasted, who avoided difficulty, who never learned how to fail, who built our entire identity on being intelligent and now feel lost because intelligence wasn't enough. And we're all trying to figure out how to build something real, how to work hard at something, how to be bad at something and keep going. It's uncomfortable. It's humiliating sometimes. It feels like we're learning basic lessons everyone else learned years ago. But we're learning late, but not too late. So here's my gentle thought, not advice, just something I'm still learning myself. Maybe being the smart kid wasn't the gift you thought it was. Maybe it was just one thing you were good at, and it doesn't define you. It doesn't determine your worth. It doesn't predict your future. Maybe you can let it go, the identity, the expectations, the pressure, and maybe once you let it go, you can start building something that's actually yours. Not something you're supposed to be good at because you're smart, but something you choose to work hard at because you care about it. Even if you're bad at it at first, even if you struggle, even if you fail, maybe that's okay. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe you don't have to be the smart one anymore. Maybe you can just be someone who's trying. And maybe that's enough. I believe in you. Now believe in yourself.